Hey everybody, Simeon Goa here. Simeon Goa dot ca. All right, that's me. Brand designer, branding support. And today I want to talk about, I'm doing something different, so bear with me, but I want to talk a little bit about recognition. We want recognition. And often we don't think we want recognition, or we don't even think about recognition um, until we get to a place where we're feeling desperate. Okay? That's the big D here. The big D is not a happy place. The big D, well, it looks kind of happy actually, doesn't it? The big D is unhappy. And I want to put to you what we can do about that if this works. So bear with me. If you like this, by the way, if you like how I'm doing this one today, let me know. This is the big D. Not a happy place. Desperation is not a happy place. I've been there myself. And so, what do we want recognition. We're looking to be reflected in, we got a mirror here, maybe a little mirror, and we want to be reflected in how people perceive us. And that's not a bad thing. And for a business, it's an important thing. However, there are a couple of pitfalls here that I wanted to talk about today, getting to the point as quickly as I can here, because I know that you're busy. The first one is fear. Okay. We can get to a place where we are super afraid of the future or our potential success. We can also get super arrogant and think that, and this is no slight to, exercise necessarily, but when we get arrogant, we want to flex our muscles, and here is a muscle that is being flexed. And the problem here, as you can see, is that with these two approaches, we don't have much nuance, or we don't have much room to move. In fact, we have no room to move, and that's part of the problem. We're desperate, and we either act out of fear or arrogance, and we believe that we are either too big for our shoes, and we build skyscrapers. Mental skyscrapers, because obviously we're not necessarily yet at a place that we're building actual skyscrapers. And so that's part of it. The other part of it, however, is if we're acting from fear, we feel like we are too small for our shoes. And so there's just a little person in there. In this context, we are good plus. And in this context, we are good minus. But my point here today is to try and get anybody who's feeling desperate or afraid when it comes to your business to move out of those two places to just good enough. Okay? Good enough. And why do we want to get to good enough? Good enough sounds terrible. Good enough sounds no good at all, right? We want to move to good enough because good enough can get to us feeling curious about the world, can get us to feeling hopeful about ourselves and the world, can get us feeling joyous and about the world. There's a little magnifying glass here. And an eye looking through it. I chose a fat pen, and now that fatness is coming through, and it's great, but it's a little bit heavy. Anyways, I don't mean to be heavy-handed here, but I am being heavy-handed because that is the tool I've chosen, and I'm going with it today because you know what? It's fun all the same. And so there's binoculars, and the binoculars see the sun. That's hope, right? That's kind of a hopeful symbol. And this is kind of a curious symbol, although it's kind of odd. But anyways, that's an eye looking through a spyglass. Very rough for you today, just so you know. This is a heart, joy. So we are going, I want to encourage you, if you're feeling desperate, to take a look at that feeling of desperation and how can we move it to a place of joy, of curiosity, of hope. What is it that's making us feel desperate? What is it that's making us feel like we are not good enough or that we are better than anybody else? And if you can move to this place rather than these two extremes, curiosity, joy, hope, and if you can do that on a regular basis, you are going to find yourself in a much better position where we aren't flexing and we aren't afraid all the time, where we're not going up and down those swings between these two places here. And the last thing I'll put to you is that you will not attract everyone. In fact, you will find that these kinds of people here want to run away from you. That is, the fearful people often will want to run away from you. You will find that the people who are interested in flexing themselves beyond all measure will also run away from you. However, anybody in the area who wants to feel hopeful, who has an idea about the future, i.e. this one, anybody who is curious about the world and interested, anybody who wants to experience joy in the things that they are doing and needs your services or offerings or products will start to come towards you. But it doesn't happen overnight. This is a clock. It happens over many, many nights and days. Okay? And it, over time, you will find that you start to attract people who are in this camp here. And guess what? Some of these people over here will, because this is not sustainable, will either decide, okay, I am done with this desperation thing for the most part, or at least acting on it. And I want to move to this camp. And it used to be that I saw this joy thing as not really a good idea, or this hope thing is misleading or whatever, or this curiosity thing is not true. And they didn't, but over time, after you burn out from desperation, you kind of realize, okay, well, I'm going to need some of this stuff if I'm going to survive. And if you are putting forward hope, curiosity, joy, whatever it is that speaks to something that isn't about being overly, like, being better than everybody else and flexing and everything else, or isn't about your fear, is going to over time attract people, and it's going to be the thing that informs the expression of your brand, the expression of how you do your work. And that is what's going to bring you real recognition. I hope this helps. Let me know what you think about this horrible drawing I've made. Let me know what you think about this drawing that I've made, and whether or not this was a useful way for me to express my ideas. I found it very useful. I found it very fun. That's somebody leaving a message. I have a meeting with someone and I have to go. So I hope this helps. Have a good day. Happy Valentine's Day.